Hello guys, it's me Lunar, welcome back to another Modern Warfare update video. A new and big update just released for the game and includes new maps, new modes and tons of patch notes to go over. We are looking over those changes in the video. If you find this helpful, a like is appreciated. Thanks guys. Like always, we'll jump straight into it. First, the update itself is huge. It's 10.5 gigabytes on the Xbox One X. Here are the changes. New free maps. They've added Krovnik Farmland to Ground War and Shoot House to multiplayer, and also new playlists and a new mode. Hardpoint is now in rotation, and Shoot House 24/7. This includes a mixture of Team Deathmatch, Domination, Kill Confirmed, and Headquarters. And yes, all of the new content is available for everyone right now. It's free across all platforms. So you can download the big update and you can get playing right now. The new content is good, but we also have a ton of patch notes to go over, which will make up most of this video. And we're going to start with general fixes. The backend fixes to prevent crashes and improve stability across all platforms include dev errors and various performance fixes. A fix for a few bugs where some streaks and field upgrades were able to be flown out of bounds without penalty. Fix for a bug where a player being killed by an enemy with variable zoom scope would not see the zoom function in the kill cam. Fix for the Semtex warning audio being heard at the same volume whether in a building or outside. In Headquarters, players were able to place attack insert and respawn when their team owned the point. Fix for various collision issues across maps. Added user interface that shows when XP events are active in playlist menus. Sprint and tactical sprint speeds are now back to speeds in the beta. A fix for a bug that revealed players to UAVs when they fired their weapons, even when they had Ghost and Silencer equipped. Fixed an issue where if multiple personal radars were active on a team and are both marking the same enemy, only one player would see the enemy on their minimap. To riot shields, they've fixed an issue where the throwing knife and the thermite weren't causing the shield to go on the player's back when thrown. They've also fixed the issue where explosive splash damage wasn't working consistently, and they'll continue to tune the riot shield in future updates. To claymores, detonating an enemy claymore with bullets is now non-lethal when at full health. They've also reduced the trigger and damage radius and also reduced the damage width to better match the trigger width. To battle chatter, they've removed the ability for enemies to hear when they've been called out by the opposing team. They've also adjusted the enemy callouts so they are never from your operator. Enemy callouts now use a more restricted cone at the hip and even more restricted in ads when calculating whether or not to trigger. They'll continue to monitor this and make changes again in future updates. To mounting, they've slightly increased the recoil when mounting. To perks, the EOD now clamps damage to a non-lethal amount, assuming the player is at full health. To lighting, continued updates to player visibility in dark windows and dark areas. For footsteps, they've increased the occlusion percentage to filter footstep sounds behind geometry and adjusted the footstep volume at a distance. They do have another large footstep change coming, which will make crouch and adds movement significantly quieter, so look out for that. Finally, to general fixes, they've made changes to challenges, progression and ranks. And they do have a lot more planned in the future, but here are the 5 changes that they've made so far. Fixed a bug for the Infiltrator challenge was not tracking properly. Fixed for launchers not giving XP when shooting down kill streaks. Fixed for a bug where planting a diffused 5 bombs in Cyber Attack or SND was not tracking properly. Camo challenge for kills after reload didn't give the player enough time to acquire a kill, so that has been increased. And a fix for a bug where your XP requires you to reach the next rank was higher than the value needed. Let's move on to weapon changes. The 7.25 shotgun, and this one has been talked about a lot and it's finally getting a change. The 7.25 has had an increase to its ads and hip spread and a reduce to its damage range, so no longer will you be able to shoot players from really far away with the 7.25 shotgun. The M4A1 assault rifle. Reduced damage range, small recoil increase as well. To all assault rifles, they've increased hip spread to reduce effectiveness up close, and less damage at long range for full auto the 5.56 rifles. To SMGs, they've increased movement speed, increased adds move speed, and a small reduction in sprint out time. The Uzi SMG, they've increased damage range. For the MG34, they've increased hip spread, damage range reduction, and a small adds slowdown. The M91 has increased hip spread and a small damage range reduction. The PKM increased hip spread, medium damage range reduction. For all pistols, they've increased movement speed, reduced sprint out time, and increased damage range. And finally, the crouch and prone no longer adjust recoil. In Cyber Attack, a fix for a bug where a player could use and then lose their primary weapon and would be unable to see their view model after being revived by a teammate. In Ground War, they've fixed a bug where players could sometimes be unable to pick a spawn location, and a fix for a bug where attack insert could cause players to spawn on the enemy's home base. That then, guys, leaves us with Special Ops. During operations, they've added additional intel for the backstory of Verdansk and the operators. Fix for scoreboards displaying incorrect data, XP adjustments and general background fixes, various fixes for out of bounds and parachute exploits. Respawn timer no longer stays on screen after teammates are revived after bleed out. Fix for an issue where the munitions were not usable after respawning by a gunship. Fix for losing your weapon when picking up the core. Fix for an issue where players could spawn with their weapon in the downed state. Picked up munitions no longer carry over from the match to match, only the munitions you purchased with points will. When respawning via the gunship, you will no longer be given the tank role. Selecting an allegiance operator or an allegiance as a favourite faction will now properly assign the voice of the correct operator. Operation Headhunter, fix for a bug where players are not able to lock missiles onto the final boss helicopter. Operation Crosswind, adjusted stealth for gameplay. And to Operation Paladin, a fix for a bug where there was no user interface or indicator of where to go or how to finish the objective after defeating the third arms crate. And a fix for a bug where the default weapon was different than the weapon a player would hold if they were placed in last stand. So guys, that is it for this video. The biggest update we have seen to the game so far, and includes new content with a new game mode Hardpoint, Shoot House 24/7, and 2 new maps to go with it. Let me know what you think of them and all the changes made in this update. Do the changes work this time around? As in the last update, we did have a couple of fixes that didn't seem to do anything. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest news and updates for Modern Warfare, PUBG, Apex, and other shooter games, like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.